Coming up, Tzu Chi Thailand Chapter hosts a free clinic for the disadvantaged in cooperation with 2 major hospitals. A cataract patient prepares an artistic gift to reciprocate Tzu Chi's help in restoring his vision. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Lee-Shioda. Thank you for joining us. Thailand's Tzu Chi Chapter continues to safeguard disadvantaged groups. Recently, a free clinic was held at the Jingsa Hall in Bangkok. This time, Tzu Chi volunteers also made sandwiches for the patients to snack on while waiting, as well as provided them with free haircuts. Tzu Chi Thailand Chapter recently held a community medical outreach in Bangkok at the Jingsa Hall. Participating medical professionals were not only ones from Tima, but also Bampeo Hospital as well as Ramadi Bodhi Hospital.
Tzu Chi's free clinics have helped over 25,000 refugee patients. These people have had a difficult life. They're here without anyone to rely on. Because of this, we should offer them as much support as possible.
The biggest difference between Tzu Chi's free clinic and others is that Tzu Chi's service is always filled with an extra level of warmth, as well as often exceeding the patient's expectations.
It makes me happy that we can receive medical assistance here. Tzu Chi has provided a service for us poor people. The volunteers are very passionate and caring. Honestly, it's quite a friendly atmosphere.
The fourth Sunday of each month is when Tima's free clinics are held. From last year to now, Tzu Chi has held a total of 20 community medical outreach, just to ensure that warmth is spread throughout society. The Tzu Chi Muar branch in Malaysia recently hosted a vegetarian banquet as a way to raise funds to build a Jingsa Hall. Apart from setting up a jigsaw puzzle of the Jingsa Hall for attendees to understand how much effort is needed to complete the construction, there were also people from different groups sharing their experiences of receiving assistance from Tzu Chi, hoping to invite more people to support this cause.
People from different groups gather at these vegetarian banquets to share their impression of Tzu Chi in their lives.
I feel thankful for Tzu Chi's company for the past 6 years. They have given my daughter moral support, assistance with education, as well as love and care. With all of this, she could successfully get permission to enter the National Defense University of Malaysia.
Outside of the venue, a large jigsaw puzzle of the Jinshi Hall has been set up and needs everyone's help to complete it.
We need more people to support and contribute to this program so that we can have a home like this in Muar.
What we should do now is to tell other people why we are going to be a Tzu Chi volunteer and why we need a Jingsa Hall in Muar.
Tzu Chi volunteers from Muar organize a vegetarian banquet to raise funds for building a Jinshi Hall, with nearly 1,000 people participating in this event.
Building a Jingsa Hall helps to bring important cultures in Muar to the public and helps to cultivate humanistic ethics.
We also want to help the needy and give back to society through donating the money we have earned.
With many participating in this event and contributing to society, the program of building a Jinshi Hall in Muar is expected to be completed, bringing a better future for local residents.
Staying in Malaysia, a group of poor students from Johor Bahru were recently able to smile because they have received scholarships from Tzu Chi. With these scholarships, the students can continue their schooling as well as buy books.
On this day, Tzu Chi Johor Bahru branch gives scholarships to 35 students from 3 schools.
The new shoot scholarship is very important to poor students because they want to study, but they don't have the money. The scholarships can help them keep studying without worrying about money.
Banyak aktiviti tak boleh join.
He couldn't attend many activities, but with the scholarship, at least he can take extra lessons and buy books. So he is happy, very happy.
Dia happy lah, memang happy.
The sense of happiness is also visible in the other ceremony menu. The school thanks Tzu Chi on the parents' behalf.
We have many poor families here. Even a little help like the Tzu Chi scholarships are a big help to the parents.
The scholarships are like a lifeboat to these children because it allows them to study. Now these children have a chance to grow wisdom.
Taiwan's Agriculture and Food Agency has partnered with the Tzu Chi Foundation to send rice abroad for humanitarian purposes. In total, 120 tons of rice will arrive in Mozambique this year for the poor. In June and July, 80 tons of rice has already arrived. Even though there are not many local volunteers in Mozambique, they were happy to help transport the rice so they could deliver it to people in need.
In June, over 100 volunteers gathered at Mahotas, Maputo to welcome the first shipment of rice from Taiwan. "40 tons of rice in two 20-foot cargoes did not arrive at the same time. Before the volunteers finished moving the first container of rice, it was already dark. After finishing their supper, the volunteers resumed moving the rice until they finished at 10 p.m. So far, 80 out of 120 tons of rice has arrived in Mozambique. When the second shipment of rice arrived in July, the volunteers were also careful moving it. With experience from moving rice in June, the volunteers only spent 3 hours moving the second batch of rice. They hope these bags of love from Taiwan will reach the hands of those who need it most.
Tzu Chi volunteers recently held a stem cell donor registry at the Wanhua Jingsi Hall in Taipei to encourage more people to do their part to save a life. During the registry event, people could scan a QR code to key in personal information in reducing the wait time.
People came to Wanhua Jingsi Hall to attend the stem cell donor registry hosted by Tzu Chi. This time, they don't have to wait in line. They can just scan the QR code with their cell phones and key in their personal information.
In the past, we needed to fill out a lot of forms, but today it's amazing that we can use the cell phone to fill out these forms. This is a lot more convenient and faster.
The volunteers serve each person on a one-on-one basis to make sure all the data are correct.
We make sure the data is not repeated, the contact person's information is not repeated, and the health examination is correct. The software is designed if any piece of your information is not correct, it will appear in red.
In just one morning, 147 people signed up. Even a Dharma master came from Sanxia, New Taipei City, to sign up after seeing the poster.
I feel I should hurry because someone in the world is waiting for my marrow.
Tzu Chi volunteers also go to a MRT station nearby to appeal to young people to sign up.
When I was in college, I received help from many people. I also received scholarships in college so I could graduate. So I want to do all I can to help those in need.
Tzu Chi is able to use technology to make the procedure more efficient, so people can pass on their happiness faster.
Towards the end of life, home hospice care is very important, allowing patients the opportunity to return to their familiar homes. This is only possible through the support of home care nurses. The Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital twice a week provides home hospice care, using the internet to communicate with families and patients to provide immediate service.
No day is routine when one is providing home hospice care, whether it's holding hands with a family and bravely facing the last journey of life. These nurses provide the best support for patients and their families.
很安慰。
When patients come here, they will soon leave this work, but their family will continue to remain. So we try to counsel them about the right attitude towards life and death so they can move in the right direction.
The Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital's hospice ward allows patients who improve to return home for twice weekly home hospice care. The use of 3C communication and the internet allow families to have their questions and concerns immediately addressed.
Those who return for home hospice care, if they are not able to communicate their problems on the phone, then videos or photos which can be taken are sent to our group so we can provide immediate service.
The use of technology has helped close distances in space when it comes to home hospice care, allowing patients to achieve more affordable care away from the hospital, as well as enjoying the comforts of home.
As many embark upon their final journey in life, many people want to return to a familiar environment, such as their hometown. However, some 35 townships in Taiwan lack hospice facilities. Follow our report as we go into Hsinchu's Neiwan, where a community-based hospice program has been looking after the terminally ill, giving their families some peace of mind and changing the traditional doctor-patient relationship.
Early in the morning, many people go to see a doctor at the hospital, but these medical staff are actually departing from the hospital to look after patients. The trip these medical staff undertake also include a checkup on 2 terminally ill patients. This winding mountain road goes to Hsinchu's Hengshan, Beipu, and Jianshi area, where each month there are 20 cases which these nurses cared for. This visit to Mrs. Bao's house seems like a visit of old friends. Checking the wound and changing the dressing needs to be undertaken regularly, as Mrs. Bao suffers from diabetes and her wounds are getting worse and worse, potentially requiring amputation. She speaks in the Hakka dialect to express her discomfort and unease.
I'm very scared about staying in a hospital. Fortunately, the doctors came to see my husband, and she's very good and thorough and treats me well.
In this room, Mr. Bao, who is 88 years old, underwent a tracheotomy surgery, which was quite painful.
Sometimes when they are clearing the sputum, his face looks quite uncomfortable. So we had a talk with the medical staff to tell them we wanted hospice treatment. I also tell him, Dad, I love you. I even spoke to him in Hakka and said, Dad, I love you one more time.
Being brave, giving thanks, and spreading love leads this medical team to put the patient and their family at the center of this care.
When we left the hospital and started this initiative for community or home care, these patients had a totally different outlook. This grandmother said she could accept going home and dying in a very natural process, as she decided to sign a consent form saying no resuscitation is necessary.
Frankly, there's a limit to what medicine can do, but are many people properly prepared for the final step?
Here we are at Hsinchu's Neiwan, which is a community with many senior citizens. In Taiwan, some 95% of critically ill patients die in the hospital, but many may actually want to spend their final days in a familiar community.
Unfortunately, there are few hospices in their home communities, as statistics show that amongst the 50 medical regions in Taiwan, nearly 1/5 or some 35 townships have no hospice services. A doctor and advocate of hospice care, Chen Rongji, said integration with primary healthcare institutions should provide this crucial service.
We should not cut off some people from some areas with no hospice care, making them go to large hospitals. That's not right. Small hospitals should provide hospice service, which is our greatest hope.
Local hospice may not be far away. In 2014, the National Health Insurance Administration approved hospice care payments to community hospice care, in addition to previous coverage for hospital-based care, home care, and joint care programs. However, whether community-based services can be successful in this area will depend upon their ability to work with other agencies, potentially being a difficult test.
There is a high turnover amongst caregivers, and we need to confront the situation and bravely face it. Of course, we hope that good medical teams can give good training to these long-term care institutions and provide other counseling resources so they have less fear.
Towards the end of life, many have few desires. As in our next episode, we will take you to see the quiet medical revolution underway as many patients are fulfilling their wish of moving back home.
Filipino muralist Florante Melapitz was born with no hands or feet. However, he has quite a natural ability to paint. When he was diagnosed with cataracts, his vision and his artistic ability went dark. After receiving 2 surgeries to correct his vision, courtesy of Tzu Chi's free clinic, Melapitz's eyesight was restored. Recently, Tzu Chi volunteers visited him and discovered he had prepared a very special gift for Tzu Chi. The letterings on the walls look like it was printed by a computer, but these images are the works of art by Florante Melapitz, a disabled Filipino artist.
I support him. Although he is physically disabled, he works hard to provide for his family.
Born with the artistic ability, Melapitz is able to make a living despite his disability, but another obstacle was thrown in his path later in life.
I very much support children's education. I painted these when I could still see.
Suffering from cataracts, Melapitz lost his ability to work and his carefree spirit was also compromised. With the help of Tzu Chi, the disabled artist received cataract surgeries in May and July of this year. Then after a month of rest, volunteers visited him once again.
Because of my deteriorating vision, I lost interest in drawing, but now with my vision restored, it feels as if my muse has come back.
He is currently working on his first picture since his eye surgery.
Ito naman, charcoal painting. Ginawa ko to para...
I made this charcoal painting as a gift to Master Zheng Yan. It is my way of thanking her for the operation. If it were not for Tzu Chi, I would not have my vision back. Soon I hope to follow up by painting a portrait of her.
His drawing of Master Zheng Yan is very impressive. He has fully captured the master's image in his portrait, which means also his eyesight is restored.
To most people, this charcoal drawing might just be an artwork. But for Florante Melapitz and Tzu Chi's medical mission in the Philippines, it is love's greatest masterpiece. Cai Wen-jie has suffered from cerebral palsy his entire life and has very little motor ability. However, these obstacles have not dulled his mind. Thanks to the love and support of his mother, Cai has become a successful author and faces life with a positive attitude. He thanks his mother's sacrifice for all of his success.
When Cai Wen-jie was born, lack of oxygen to his brain at birth caused him to have cerebral palsy. This resulted in limited mobility and control over his body functions. However, his mind is sharp and he has a serious talent for writing.
We just have to pick ourselves up and keep going. I know there will be green pastures even if we have to struggle over mountains.
The title of this book can be translated, Great Wind, I Wish to Go With You. It is a book portraying Cai Wen-jie's life.
With the title, he means that he is going against the wind.
Cai Wen-jie's articles are regularly published in books and magazines. He even won a national award for outstanding achievements of young people. However, he readily attributes his success and ability to the love and support of his mother, who has always been there for him.
Giving birth to a child like Wen-jie with mental or physical disabilities is incredibly difficult for mothers to bear. From the day the child is born, they will be busy every day caring for the child.
His mother has been a pillar of support since Wen-jie was born. Before Taiwan's education system was more receptive to those suffering from disabilities, she would drive over 100 kilometers a day, rain or shine, to ensure her son received a proper education.
I always go to sleep late, and he will tell me that I need to sleep earlier. He will tell me to eat healthy and avoid oily food. He really does care about me. If he sees me eating something unhealthy, he will say something.
This mother was always encouraging Wenjie to never give up and was a constant encouragement for his aspirations as a writer. His success today is a testament to the love and dedication of such an amazing woman.
Tzu Chi Taipei Eastern District Liaison Office is hosting an art exhibition filled with artworks done by artists who have overcome difficulties in their life. Let's see how this exhibition has inspired its viewers.
Recycling volunteers are using the magnifying glass to look closely at the paintings which were painted with needles. These exquisite paintings were painted by a disabled person who can only use one hand to draw. This painting portraying Mother Earth also touches everyone's heart.
Does this represent his tears? I feel a little bit sad since there are still many things we need to do to save our planet.
The charity art fair has the theme Painting Happy Life, with every painting attracting attention. One of the visitors was deeply moved by the stories of the painter Mrs. Sun, who resides in Japan, who suffered from depression, leading her to return to Taiwan and visit this exhibition. She feels calmer after viewing this artwork.
I am deeply inspired by these paintings. I think I know what to do after returning to Japan.
The painter, Hongguo Meiyu, had hosted her personal painting exhibition here when she was 86 years old. With the company of her daughter, she also came to enjoy the paintings.
It's not easy, so we should be strong and never be lazy.
Though we have difficulties in our life, those who live in an even torturous life can still bravely face their future. This is what I have learned the most today.
Hongguo Meiyu's daughter has vowed to accompany her to host a personal painting exposition when she reaches the age of 88, showing respect to painters who are also true warriors in life.
In China, people in Zibo City, Shandong, recently have a new way to spend their time, volunteering at night. Local Tzu Chi volunteers opened a nighttime recycling spot at the Tianyuan Plaza, and many are enjoying taking part in this activity.
We do recycling, not collecting garbage, because those things are useful. After we separate them, they become resources.
Tonight at the Tianyuan Plaza in Zibo City, Shandong Province, nobody dances or does exercises. Instead, Tzu Chi volunteers lead people to do recycling.
Tonight we will learn how to separate the recyclables.
People who come to do recycling work are learning to enjoy it and now look forward to the next evening recycling event.
Students from Tainan's Zuozhen and Yujing Elementary were invited by the Tzu Chi Foundation to enjoy an art performance by the Hunzhang Mixed Arts Troupe, where the performers are all disabled. To promote the love of reading, the students even received books from the Tzu Chi Foundation. And that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.